all I'm doing is being myself and just putting out what I want to receive. I've seen people turn into ugly monsters because they feel like that goes with fashion. Mm-hmm. I got the best things happening and the worst things happening at the same time. I am all that, and I'm still humble. And you can be the SHIT and be humble.
Who is Ty Hunter? Welcome back to the Sowing podcast, Fashion by Faith. I am your host, Nicole Mays Jackson. Our guest today has graced the pages of fashion history with his impeccable taste, innovative flair, and unmatched ability to accentuate the beauty of those he styles. His work has been the canvas for red carpets, stages, and screens, making him a trusted confidant to some of the world's most beloved stars. But beyond the glamorous allure of the fashion industry, he is a beacon of inspiration for aspiring stylists, a mentor who champions individuality, an advocate for self-expression through the art of dressing. In a world that often fixates on external appearances, he champions the idea that the most profound transformations begin from within. As we dive into the captivating narrative of his journey, we'll discover not just the threads of couture, but the fabric of his life experiences that have woven together to create an inspiring tapestry. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to a master of style, catalyst of confidence, and a true icon of the fashion world and beyond, the incomparable Ty Hunter. Ty, thank you so much for being here today.
Wow, that was beautiful. You're going to have to send that to me. That's my intro to everything I do now.
Let me tell you.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I am so excited for you to be here. I'm so thankful for you to be here. And, you know, just like I told you off camera, you have sown a seed into me. And just by you being here.
Oh, wow.
You have. And so, you know, God works in the way that he works. Yes. And so we first met at our only time that we met was at the Fashion Bomb Daily Fashion Show, which was really amazing.
Yes, my sister Claire.
Yes, Claire. And so, in FYI, just to start off, I did not know that you and Claire had a brunch together, a basic brunches. When I read, I said, what?
Yeah, it used to be called No Basic
Brunch. No Basic. I know, No Basic Brunches. Yeah, and I said, I am feeling that.
Yeah, me, Claire, Summers, and Legendary Damon, we used to have these brunches called No Basic Brunch. And we would just travel all over to different places, mostly in Harlem. Yeah. It was such a great time and great experience just to have a place where everybody can come. And we would come up with, Claire would come up with themes, which made it fun. And she would get us sometimes because she'd be like, okay, we're wearing all Versace. I was like, I don't have that much Versace. But whatever her theme, we would let her pick the theme and we would go with it. And then everybody would just come. It was a really good melting pot of fashion and everybody from all over. So it was a fun time. We were supposed to bring them back this summer, but they moved to LA. I refused to move back to LA. I'm a New Yorker till the blood. I love New York, even though I'm from Texas.
Now, yes, you got to represent the Texas. Don't fight me, H-Town.
You know, I love H-Town. That's family, but I really, really love New York, so I end up coming back.
Yeah, so meeting you there, when I first saw you, it was just like, and I'm not exaggerating. You're going to say, she is exaggerating, but it was like, there's Ty. It was a beacon of like light. You just seemed like you were just so down to earth. You were just in your zone. You were just like yourself. And then when you came over to where we were, I was just like, that's Ty. And I was just so humbled by who you are and what you represent, but you as a person, humble, sweet, down to earth.
Yeah.
Texas down to earth.
There we go.
Southern down to earth. Even though you're a New Yorker to the heart, Southern down to earth. And you don't get that a lot, you know, when you meet people of your caliber.
It's true. It's true. and the crazy thing is, it's sad that I have to be like a people say that I'm this, and all I'm doing is being myself and just putting out what I want to receive. And I just don't understand why that's such a rare thing. But especially in the fashion industry, it's very rare. And I've seen people turn into ugly monsters because they feel like that goes with fashion. But I am all that, and I'm still humble. And you can be the SHIT and be humble.
Say it again. Say it again. You can be all of that and be
Fabulous
humble.
and be humble. All those things can go together.
Yeah.
I don't know why people feel like, once you reach a certain status, you have to treat people bad in order to get respect. I treat people their way I want to be treated, and that's why longevity, and that's why I've been in the game for so many decades, because I didn't have to treat anybody bad or step on anyone to get to a certain level.
Because I don't think people understand that God sees everything that we do. Yes. Karma is real. Everything comes back full circle. So you always want to treat everyone how they should be treated. I mean, from the janitor to the person that is, helping you do what you need to do, to the intern. You are supposed to teach and treat people how you want to be treated.
That's my motto. Amen.
You do. So let's get into this book.
Let's get in there.
OMG. Now look, let me show y'all something. Hold on, because I don't want y'all seeing my cue cards. Hold on. The Makeover from Within. So I am going to tell you, I did the audio version. I did the whole audio version.
Thank you.
Your voice was amazing.
Thank you.
No, it was.
That was one of the hardest things for me to do. I tell you, I was it's a lot of work. I commend any person that has to be in the studio to record an audible, to record an album. Much respect, because it is a lot of work. And I knew I needed to do my own, but I feel like my voice is too soothing, and I feel like people was going to fall asleep.
No, you were not. I was not falling asleep. I was like, what?
A lot of people say my voice is very soothing, so I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad I did it, and to hear someone actually listen to it. You're like the second person that told me that, so I really get excited, because that was a lot of hard work for me.
I listened to the audio. I did go through the book as well. And so what I loved about the book too was all of the pictures that you had in there as well. And not just that. You don't understand that when I listened to your book, when I read it, you are sowing seeds into people that you probably won't even meet. This is a legacy for you, for you to open up yourself to share your world and share who you are. I mean, how did it feel writing this book?
It was a roller coaster of emotions. It was very I've never been to therapy. I'm not bragging about that. I'm everybody else's therapist.
Yeah.
But it was very therapeutic, and just when you say things out loud, when you write them down. And by the way, I wrote the book with the amazing Isla Mail, who I could not have done this without. She wrote Project Runway and New York Fashion Week. And we did this during COVID, and it was like every Tuesday or Thursday, we would just dedicate hours into working on chapters just to get it completed. And when I would say things out loud, and you just kind of realize this thing is already mapped out. God has this already mapped out.
Yes.
So when things don't work out, you realize, when you write something, you're like, this didn't work out because this came better. And this was later, but this was better. If I would have took that, would have been another route. And so it was very therapeutic, and just learning more about myself and my family, and just why I am the way I am.
I mean, when I read it, I had to take some self-inventory for myself. And I'm going to tell you, these Thai takeaways, we're going to get into them, they're my fave.
Thank you.
I can just tell that you put a lot of your heart, you put, a lot of vulnerability to just share all the things that you shared. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
I thank you for it.
Thai takeaways were very important to me because, I wanted to do something that, everybody could relate to. And it's so crazy because the Thai takeaways are basically just like I tell my story, and at the end, it's like, I wouldn't change a thing. I went this big, that's just like, part of leveling up. This is how I had to go through these things to become who I am. But at the same time, the Thai takeaways is like, if you would go this route, I took a right and went this way. You can go this way, but if you take a left, I just wanted to make it easier and just be a blueprint to success and just going through trouble storms for people.
Yeah, I get it. And so with talking about Thai takeaways, I want to know, and I got a glimpse of it in the book, but I wanted to know, who is Ty Hunter? When Ty is at home, he's not, styling people. He is not, he's just able to be regular schmegular Ty. Mm-hmm. Who is Ty Hunter?
I am just a regular country boy.
Say it again.
I am
Texas
just
in
a
the building.
regular country boy that, I'm just regular. Like, mm-hmm. I'm not about all the fluff and fun. Like, I don't need all this zhuzh. I don't need all of that. I just need, good people around me that I love and trust. And I don't have a large amount of those, a handful that outside of family. But, I just like to rest. I've traveled the world so much. I like to just rest and just, work on other projects in between.
Okay.
I don't know how to sit still.
Yeah.
But I do like to rest and just relax and be with family and friends when I can, because I've toured so much of my life, mm-hmm. Since 99.
Wow.
Tour. I went through 4 passports where you fill it up, you have to go get another one.
Are you serious?
Yes, from Destiny's Child to Each Girl Solo Project to Solange, So, resting is important to me. I'm of age, and I just like to chill and go have some good food with friends.
Yeah.
And I don't even like clubbing that much unless it's a job, a hosting gig. But I do, just supporting friends is important mm-hmm. for me too. If I'm not at home, I'm out supporting a friend with something.
I love that. Well, you talked about food. And so, I am from Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. You are from Austin, Texas. But we're going to say Austin/Houston.
Houston is where I was born in Austin, and I moved to Houston when I was 23. 23.
Okay.
So I really claim Houston. In Houston, I get more love from Houston than I do
from
hometown.
Austin.
I just started getting love from my hometown.
Yeah.
Shout out to Austin.
Why did you have to say it like that? Look, shout out to Austin.
Houston's where it's at. Houston made me who I am today.
Let me tell you.
That transition from Austin. I was in the medical field. I used to work on artificial heart valves, and Houston kind of was where I just really was able to be myself and be free. And I did visuals, and that's how I met the wonderful Miss Tina Knowles.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think sometimes people sleep on Houston. They don't give us enough credit as we need. So Houston it is.
Yeah, Houston's it.
It is. So we're gonna have a rapid fire this or that. Okay. Texas edition.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need you to pretend like you're back in the H.
Okay.
Or H/Austin.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Frenchies or Popeyes?
Frenchies. Frenchies. You can get Popeyes everywhere.
You can get Popeyes everywhere.
Yeah. Frenchies is family. So
yeah, Frenchies is the bomb. I love that chicken. I love that red drink.
Yes. All of that.
It's good.
It's so good.
It's good. And the greens, I will say. The greens are really good. I like the greens. So the Galleria Mall or Buffalo Exchange. And so if everybody doesn't know what Buffalo Exchange is, it is a thrift store. Now, in Houston, ours is in the Montrose area. And so, I used to go there when I was a teenager, but, so.
I would have to say the Galleria Mall because I worked in the Galleria Mall, and that's where I, met the wonderful Miss Tina Knowles. Now, the Buffalo Exchange, during that time when I was, scraping up, the good thing about Buffalo Exchange, and I look in the camera for
Tell them, get that
you
money.
could take them clothes that you use in a crunch, you could go sell those clothes and get you some money. Mm-hmm. And I used to sometimes take it and get the money and then go back in there and shop and swap and get new stuff. So it kept me looking fresh every weekend.
All weekend. That's what I used to love about Buffalo Exchange too. I used to love that.
I used to make really good money because they loved everything that I brought.
Yeah. People they were sleeping on Buffalo Exchange. But I love Buffalo Exchange. And then in the Galleria, you used to work at BB, right?
Yeah, I worked at Booyaka, the guest store, and BB in the Galleria Mall.
Yeah, and Booyaka had a waterfall. Booyaka was like the store in the Galleria, Houston.
I tell people I didn't know about Galleria 3. I was late to it. I ran into that by accident. because this Galleria 1 and 2, it was enough.
Yeah.
You know? And then one day I was looking for my friend's car, and I was like, wait, it's a whole nother mall over here.
It's a whole nother mall.
And that's when the first time I walked in there, I saw Booyaka, and they was playing reggae music.
Yes.
And they had a waterfall in there and palm trees. And I was like, what is this? I have never seen this before. And I walked in, and the guy was like, and I had locks at the time. So he was like, where you work? You want to work here? And I ended up working there.
Yeah.
That's how I got the job there, just from my look. Wow. And then I started working there. It was an amazing family, all Vietnamese, the Bowie family. I love them. They became like my family after that, because I worked for them for many years and just elevated through them, and they took really good care of me.
Wow, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. That's loyalty. Yeah. So my next one would be the Houston Rodeo or South by Southwest.
Oh, that's a hard one. I would definitely go with Houston Rodeo, only because South by Southwest, I went a lot, from Austin, but I had already moved to Houston, and, everything that rodeo was just where it was.
It was where it was.
When I first started working for Destiny's Child, the first concert that I had to work was at the Houston Rodeo.
Wow. I was going to ask you, do you have a memorable rodeo moment? But how can you?
I worked it.
You worked it. Yeah. You worked it, yeah. So my next one is Galveston or Lake Travis.
I Galveston only because now Lake Travis is very nice.
Very,
very nice.
Yes.
It's nice. But Galveston at the time when I was growing up, being a black young gay man, they used to have this function that went on there that was just so hood and so ratchet. Look,
which one is that one? Are we going to talk about the
fun? I know which Splash.
Yeah.
And Splash, most of the time, especially growing up, when you see people with like Skittles in their hair, like the most ratchet stuff, it all came from Splash. Yeah. And it was just so much fun. And I would go, and it was just a party, and we would have so much fun. And so definitely say Galveston because of Splash.
Only because of Splash.
Because of Splash.
Yes.
I never got in the water.
Let me tell you, that water, nobody wants to even put their feet in the water, okay? In Galveston.
I don't even think I took my shoes off to touch the sand, but it was a good party, and it was good fun, and it was a lot. It brings back a lot of childhood memories. Yeah. Young memories.
Yeah. So last one would be Salt Lick Barbecue or Chuy's.
I never had Salt Lick Barbecue.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of Chuy's either.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing that I like about Chuy's is that creamy sauce. They have like this creamy salsa. It's like a jalapeno cilantro sauce.
Gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. So neither one. You like,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. I will take that. So, you being first let me tell you what Sowing Seeds is and how it came about. So I wanted to create a podcast called Sowing Seeds, which we are about right now. And so fashion and faith. So God put it on my heart to be able to showcase individuals who are not just in the fashion world, who are just not in the faith world, but their journey in life. Who has sown a seed into you? That's what I always think about, because where I am today, I've had many people to sow a seed into me to be on my journey to where I am. And I feel that everyone in their life has had someone to sow into them, to push them along the way where God wants them to be.
Amen.
And so when we talk about fashion, because I love fashion, when we talk about faith, it goes intertwined together. But most importantly, it's what God has allowed you to have, what he has sown into you and the individuals that he has put along the way. So with that, I talked to you about sowing seeds and how you sowed a seed into me. Can you say on your journey in life, who has sown a seed into Ty? Who has been a advocate sowed seed? When we sow seeds, we harvest them, we sow them, we harvest. Who has sown a seed into Ty?
It's so many people, but I would definitely have to say Miss Tina Knowles for just believing in me and sticking to her word and taking a chance on this little country boy as well. And she's just still to this day just constantly pushing me and to just be a part of such an amazing family. it just keeps me going, and just to have an awesome blueprint of greatness lets me know that I can be anything that I want to be. So it's just her taking the chance and saying, I'm going to get you out of here one day, and stuck to that, and you know, I've been able to be who I am today and rise.
So when did you know that was your moment? You know, because I've heard you speak before. I've heard you say, you know, how much you are so thankful for Miss Tina. And so I wanted to know, how did you know that this, like God was saying, like, hey, this is it. This is your chance. This is your opportunity.
It just all fell into place because it's like, it wasn't like I just met her and she said, come work with me. You know what I mean? Like when I worked at Booyaka, she used to come in Booyaka, and Destiny's Child was just at that level where, you know, Booyaka had cute things, but they weren't so expensive.
Yes.
And then I got promoted, and I started working at the Guest Store, and then Destiny's Child started growing and growing. And then I got at BB, and you know, back then BB was like working at the White House. That was the spot. Like, that was the spot.
You know, okay, if you were somebody, everybody who thought they was somebody, I'm gonna say, used to be in BB.
BB was like the spot. And so you know, the girls had just dropped Independent Women, and you know, it was time to start doing the Survivor video and all those things. And Miss Tina, she was like, and I just found out last year, we did a show, me and Miss Tina did a show together, and she told me she was giving me tests. But like, I was working at BB, and she was like, they lost all the luggage for the dancers. I need this stuff here tomorrow at such and such. And it's like 15 dancers. It was like things like that. And I was like, I was making it happen. And so I didn't know like those were tests, but those were tests. And I met each girl separately, but I wasn't a starstruck person. Like I knew Kelly because she would come in, Michelle and Farrell would come. I would go to lunch with Michelle most of the time and hang out with her because she didn't know anyone in Houston. And so, but when they all came in, you know, they all came, and Miss Tina and Solange was like a little small kid and you're very young at the time. And Miss Tina was like, just, I didn't know you knew Kelly. Like she was seeing that I already knew them, and it was just how everything was aligned. It all happened. And so when she told me I would get you out of here one day, I waited. I didn't think nothing of it, but I had a day off. I needed that day off because I was actually working 2 jobs at the time. And I just called her to see if she needed help, and the rest is history. I started working on the Grammys and the Survivor video.
Wow.
In 99.
That is big.
Yeah.
It's big. And so I know that she sowed a seed into you. So who would you say from your childhood have sown
every
a seed
single woman
into
in
you?
my life?
Yeah.
Every single woman.
Yeah.
My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mom, my daughter, just the women in my life have really been my backbone and just kept me going and allowed me to be myself with no judgment. And just that comforting, knowing that I had the comfort there was allowed me to push through. Yeah. And I love my uncles and everybody, but you know, with them, I pulled back, and I had to, as a young kid, when you learn that certain ways and moves are, you know, a little feminine, you know, so you pull it back. And I was more robotic. I wasn't my true self. But with my women, the ladies in my life, they allow me to be myself.
Be yourself.
My great-grandmother, we saw her, my grandmother, they want me to do their hair and do this shoe go with this. Yes. My mom, like they all, you know, made me feel important. And that's when I wrote the book, then I realized that's why I was pushed in this way. So God let me use all my talents, you know, in the place of from playing with dolls to really dressing dolls.
And I saw that in your book. So who was it? Because I don't want to say the wrong name. I want to say it was your grandmother, or was it your aunt who allowed you to go into the room and
that was actually my babysitter.
That was your babysitter.
Yeah, she would allow me to play with dolls. Yeah. And so I always got to give her the love. Yeah,
because she knew who you were, and she allowed you to be yourself.
And she would actually put me in a room like away from the other kids, and I recently was able to tell her this because I was like 5. And I was like in the room, and the dollhouses were to the right in the little closet. And then she was like, oh my God, you remember that? But it stamped me so hard because it was freedom. And I was making dresses with socks and cutting fabrics and just creating and doing the hair as well. So when I got the job with Miss Tina Knowles, we used to do the hair too.
Yeah.
Like we were doing the hair and dressing them.
So pretty much when I read this book and just talking to you today, God already had all of this planned out, which we already know at an early age for you. Because, I mean, just hearing you, what you did for your childhood, how everything transpired into where you are today, how does that make you feel when you think about the goodness of, you know, everything that God has done in regards to where you are today?
I just, you know, when you lay it out, and I laid it out years ago, and it just makes you feel blessed.
Yes.
You know, it's like I don't have fear. Even in the storm, I don't have fear because I know it's going to get better. And as long as I keep that in my mind, it just flows. And I've learned to let the higher powers control this vehicle. You know what I mean? I might have hopes and dreams, and I think my life is going to be planned out this way, but I really give it the most of the energy to the higher powers to help me steer this thing the right way.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know, but you did grow up Baptist too, right?
Yes.
And so God was instilled into you very, very, very early, right?
So I used to sing in the choir every Sunday.
That's why you have that monotone voice so you can sing.
I can in the shower. I'm amazing in the
Aren't
shower,
we all?
guys. The best. Can win a couple of Grammys, but I don't sing. Just around friends.
Yeah. But you have that monotone where it sounds like you could sing.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, I can hear a little something. So I'm gonna go into one of my favorite Thai takeaways because I think that it will go into what we're talking about. And it's on page 93. Okay, I got the page number for you. Okay. It's on page 93. Let me pull it up for you. Because, you know, you talked about a second ago. I'm sorry, I'm over here fumbling the pages, child. All right. And I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read some of it. For Thai takeaways, let me let y'all see this right here. And let me tell you, the pictures on here, amazing. This black and yellow, which is your signature. And tell everyone first, before I even say this, what is the black and yellow? What does it represent?
Okay, first I'm going to say the amazing photographer is from Harlem, Ricky Day, a really good friend. He's amazing, and he came in and just, oh my God, I was in awe. And we have such a chemistry. He pulls something out of me every time. Yeah. Love you, Ricky Day. The yellow and black kind of stems from, you know, social media can be a gift and a curse. It can be a very dark place. And so I wanted the yellow to be up the sun, in a place that you know you could come to my page for motivation, to laugh, and just be inspired. And so that's where the color yellow came from. And as I started writing my book, I noticed my dad's home is yellow. My dad's house is yellow. It's the little house on the corner. It's yellow. And I've learned that that's significant. You know, that played a major part in why I love the color yellow so much. But yellow makes me feel happy.
I like yellow. Yellow is a happy, bright, vibrant color. Yeah. And I love black. I could wear black every day. It's my every look. That's why I was like,
I have to force myself to get out of black, you know, because black makes me happy. You know, some people need color to make them happy. Black makes me happy. And being in the industry, you know, you always in black anyway when you're working behind the scenes, you know, to keep it uniform and clean. We always wear black just in case you got to run on stage, which I have done several times.
I'm sure.
But, you know, so I got accustomed to wearing black when I got into business because I used to wear a lot of color when I was younger, but I love the color black, and it's strong and it's powerful, and you know, people relate black to evil and all this kind of thing, but black is not that. It's
black is not that. It is very powerful and bold.
Yes.
So let me go into this Thai takeaway. So it says you're going to unintentionally hurt people as you search for your true self. Anyone you lose along the way isn't supposed to be in your life.
Yes.
When I read that, it hit home for me. And so, you know, just reading this, it's just like God closes one door and he opens another. He says yes. We say yes. Mm-hmm. And we say yes and he says no. And it's hurtful sometimes, because we want to do something that he is not calling us to do. And so how have you dealt with doors opening and closing and transitioning into, even really a whole nother career? How were you able to do that?
I believe there's a reason and a season for every single thing.
Yes.
And I also believe when my body and my soul don't feel right and they don't feel like at ease, it's time to switch it up and change it. And I will take that jump every single time, because what's the point of having faith if you don't believe you're going to land?
Faith without works is dead.
Yeah. So that's what I do. That's how I make it. If I feel like this is not for me no more, I can't be the one that say I coulda, shoulda, woulda done something. I learned that working in the Harvard place. A guy that was a friend of mine, an older guy, he worked all these hours and saved up and was like, when I retire, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. He ended up dying like 2 weeks later. So I just believe in living. And if something don't feel right, I let it go. You know what I mean? Because the gut, God give you the gut.
He does
right
all
away.
The time.
But
that Holy
Spirit, we try to ignore that thing and try to make it work when you already you already knew that wasn't right when you went in there. So, and then when it comes to like friends and, I started this journey with a van full of people, and now I'm like in a 2-seater with maybe 1 or 2 people hanging on in there, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when you get to the finish line, the ones that were supposed to be there, the loyalty and the people that you didn't hurt or do bad will be right there commending and clapping and applauding you because of how things went. Yeah. And so, I just believe in the reason and the season, and I pray on it. And the thing is, you can't keep asking the Lord for the cleansing and anybody that's not supposed to be around me, Lord, protect me from evil, all these things, and wake up and you're losing people. You can't be upset about that. Yeah. You prayed for it.
You prayed for it. And so, when did you find the courage? So when God closes that door and you just do it, it's scary. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because when you're going into a new season, when, doors are closing and opening, where did you find your strength? Because you had a lot of transition as well, too, in life. So where do you find that courage and how do you do that?
It's just about faith. Yeah. I can't question it. I have, when you have that faith, when you truly have faith, that's it. That's the answer to every single thing. Like, you gotta know and believe that it's gonna get better. You're gonna get through this, and it's not easy. It's not. It's not the hardest thing, and you find yourself depression. But I believe in getting through it, and I believe in not using a vice to get through it. I'm not drinking when I'm trying to get through something. I'm not having sex when I'm trying to get through something. I'm not trying to party and do drugs and all those things. I got to feel this and get through it in order to move on. And so I give everything an expiration date. We're human. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have depression, but give it an expiration date. I'd be like, okay, Thursday, I'm going to pull it together. And it's not about even faking it till you're making it. It's just about getting through it and just facing that thing and coming up with the options to really get through it.
Yeah, because you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you're not going to have anyone to pour into you at all. And so you have to find the courage to encourage yourself. Pull yourself by the bootstraps and say, okay, we got to get this together. Just me and the Lord. And, sometimes people think that drinking and doing things like that is the way. But like you said, it's not. It's just going to make it worse.
It does.
It's going to just make it worse.
You got to face it. So I believe in getting it out of the way.
You got to get out the way.
And in that process of the storm, Lord, what am I supposed to learn in this? Because you wouldn't allow me to go through this for no reason. So what am I supposed to learn in this? And that really helps me get through it, because again, having faith that I know I'm a good person and I know that I put out good. So I'm going through this to learn something. And, I'm right in this very moment. I got the best things happening and the worst things happening at the same time. But I just know that bad side is I need to really attend to that and find out what am I supposed to get through this to level up to the next journey, the next phase.
One thing that my godmother always says, and I have to give her credit for her line because I don't want to take it, what you don't defeat, you will repeat.
Yes. Amen.
So you want to make sure that you pass your test and you know what you need to get from it. So I love that.
Amen.
Yeah. So you talked about faith. So I want to ask you, in one word, describe your faith. What would be that one word?
I would definitely have to say it's my being. You know, it's internal. It's how I breathe. It's me. Me. Yeah. That's it. Like me. I don't have any other words for it. Like and with that gives me strength to move day to day. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be here mentally.
Yeah. And so people don't understand that faith also is a process because we go through different levels of our faith being tested, right?
Amen.
And so at one point I might be strong, and one point I might be a little weak in my faith, and so it's all a test. But like you said, being in your being and being you,
and it all comes from also learning to be alone. I stress this a lot of times because a lot of us don't know how to be alone. We feel like we need that extra little flesh or that person or this or that, and the materialistic, all those things. Like when you learn to just be alone and just sit in that thing, you get all the answers right there, and it just really makes it. Me being by myself for months at a time during COVID in a townhome in downtown LA with all the madness going outside as crazy it may sound, as I really found myself, and I really learned that everything I need is within me, and anything else I'm already full. You know, and why I'm full. So anything that I add to my life now is just a side dish because I've learned to be alone and I'm full.
Meditating and spending time with God, that's basically what you're saying is the way to go. And that's the only way that you're going to hear from him is to be still and to be able to hear him and know what you need to do. So I am with you on the meditation, staying to yourself and not having people just attack you or attached to you. You know, because some people are assigned to you and some people are attached to you, and it's a big difference.
It really is.
It's a big difference. And so with that, in your career, in your success, you know, how would you define success for Ty?
I felt most successful when I stepped back and looked at my accomplishments. Because when I was in it, I wasn't paying attention. And so when I stepped away from it, and then when you see how things are now, I'm like, wow, like, I'm the man. Like, I did that. You know what I mean? So I when I'm in it, I'm in it, and I wasn't, paying attention. And so I really wasn't, like, even I would get acknowledged for certain things. I was so in it that when I stepped away and really had the opportunity to look at my accomplishments, what I've done, and I wasn't even acknowledging pats on the back at the time because I just wanted to get it done and be the best that I could be. So I would definitely say just stepping away and looking at. Still today, something to come on the TV or on the radio, and I'll be like, I'll go to that memory like, I did that.
And it's so amazing to step back and see all of your accomplishments, because I know sometimes I am very guilty of what you said. And so to hear you say that, it's a true living testimony, because you have to be able to recognize all of your accomplishments and be thankful for them, because they did not come easy.
No, it wasn't.
It did not come easy. Not. And so you're moving and you're doing it, but it's like, I did that?
Yeah.
That's me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so with that, what would you say Ty's greatest lesson you've learned from your failures?
I would definitely have to say, just I've learned to be myself, my true, authentic self. In every single room, you could put me over here in a tuxedo. You could put me over here in the projects. You could put me over here in any room. I've learned to be myself. I think the problem is we feel like we have to pull up or pull down in certain areas to try to blend. I'm not about blending. I was made this way, and I just continue to simply be me. And I've learned that, and that's when you're yourself and you're not faking it and shaking it to prove to fit in, or make somebody feel better or whatever. I don't care if you can't take me for me, then my spirit and my soul will move me out of that room. If I can't, I'm not allowed to be myself. So simply just being myself works for me.
That's something. It's just so funny that you talked about that, and I'm just going to be transparent. When I knew that we were doing this interview and just me filming, because I'm filming season 2, you're our first guest on Sowing Seeds, and so, I was nervous. And I just was like, okay, Nicole, you have to be yourself. And so myself, my team, of course, they encouraged me. They're going to tell me what what we should do. But I had a aha moment maybe about a couple of days ago, and I was like, Nicole, you have to be yourself. You're okay. If you mess up, it's okay. If you say something that's not right, it's okay. You have to be your authentic self, and no matter what room you are, no matter who you're in front of, you can't put on your special voice when you're around people. You have to be yourself, and that's something that I dealt with that was really hard for me. And hearing you say that, I know that that's nothing but God telling me, Nicole, you gotta be yourself. It's only one you. And I was so nervous about today and this whole podcast, and making sure that I represented God well, that we make sure that you were taken care of. And so I wanted to give that testimony because it really resonates with me about being authentic.
I tell you, when your true self, like, you'll see it's gonna just skyrocket. Because I used to listen to myself on the TV or radio, and I used to hate it. I couldn't even look at myself. Like, and it's because I would think I'm pulling up, and then you become animated, you become robotic, and you're not true. Be yourself. Be yourself.
You have to be
at
yourself.
all times.
You have to be yourself at all times. So with you, with everything that you have done, what would you say you want your legacy to be?
I just want to my legacy to be that I inspired someone to not give up, and let people know that you can do anything, and you just gotta, believe and keep pushing. And I want to just continue to inspire people. Like I said, I'm still going through changes and transition. I'm not where I'm going and going until I get to that place of, where I feel like, okay, this is where I want to be, because what I have in my mind and what God has in my mind is even higher than that. So I'm just pushing through.
And our thoughts of what we have in our mind are so small compared to what He has for us. He shows up and He shows out.
He will, and my enemies have become footstools, and He just shows out. Sometimes I joke a lot, and I say He get a little messy sometimes, because he take me up, catapult me up higher, and I got look down a little bit, and you like, whoa, I want to, but that's what He does. And so, like, just from where I've been and where I'm going and where I am today, God is amazing. I am blessed, and hey,
He's amazing. He is. Well, I want to thank you so much for today. You just don't know what you have done for me today. You really have. And I am very humble and thankful. I am. And so I just want to thank you for being here today. I'm sorry.
It's okay, because you got me. Hey,
I'm sorry because, I prayed and I told God my season 2, I wanted it to be so impactful. And I came down here for Cat Fashion Week. And I wasn't expecting to meet people. But I told God what I wanted. And that night, me and my manager, we were in the room and, we were like, okay, we got to do this. We got to do that. We met some people and let's try to connect. And as soon as, I tagged you in the picture, you followed me. Kyra reached out to you and you kept your word. And people don't do that. And so I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You impacted me today. Can I give you a hug? I know this ain't part of it.
Yes. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm sorry for crying.
It's okay. You got me crying, but it's all good.
But thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, this concludes. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up my makeup, but this concludes our episode 1, season 2 of Sowing Seed podcast. I know we got time to redo it, so I'm good, but I know you got to be somewhere. But thank you so much, Ty. I just thank you so much.
Thank you.
You don't know what you have done for me today. Yes, it's all right. Thank you. That concludes our show for today. I would like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in, and a special thank you goes to our guest, the incomparable Ty Hunter, for helping me kick off an amazing season 2. We'll see you next time right here on Sowing Seed Podcast, powered by Fashion by Faith. That concludes our show for today. Start over. I was getting tongue-tied. Smile.
You shouldn't do, but yeah, I would just, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not fake smile, natural.
I'm just.
But like,
Show all the things.
Yeah, you know your conclusion, so.
I thought I was doing a little smile and talk. It's hard to smile and talk.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
You got it in you.
This, can I do this? Okay.
Just look enthused.
Okay. Okay.
Does it say special thank you to our special guest?
Special thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no two specials. Just
She said, hold up.
We start from the beginning. I just want a little bit more like.
Oh, they filming me?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, let me smile. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought it was like the voiceover. Okay, let me give